everyone, and welcome to Meeple Leaf Reviews. I'm Jeffrey.
And I'm Jacob.
And today we are doing a before and after of Solarius Mission.
We are.
But before we get to that, Jacob, what's a before and after?
Before and after is where we give you our expectations before we've ever played the game, and then we go and play the game one single time, and after that one play, we'll give you our first impressions of what our initial thoughts are.
Okay, so going into our expectations for Solarius Mission, I picked this one up because of the theme. It's a space exploration game, and I kind of heard it touted as a 2X or 3X space game where it's more Euro-esque,
Sure.
but there's no extermination. Now, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Eclipse, but Eclipse has like dice rolling combat, which I've kind of tired of late, so I was like hoping that this one would be the space Euro game that I would like.
Sure. The one thing kind of going off of that I kind of expecting is no real player interaction whatsoever, other than you could potentially build a station in front of where you think someone's going to be coming from to access a certain planet or something, and then they have to go around it because you can't occupy the same space as something that someone else controls.
Now, I think what you're saying is telling me that this game is very thematic.
Yes.
Because space is so huge that if two people were exploring in space...
That's exactly what I was saying, Jeffrey.
There'd be zero player interaction. So I think it's capturing that quite well with what you're saying.
Right, yeah, super thematic.
But going in after reading the rulebook and having a look, I'm a bit hesitant about this game. I'm not really sure. First of all, the rulebook was pretty hard to get through.
Okay.
Fortunately, there was a condensed rules that I found on Board Game Geek that really helped learn the game. But yeah, I don't know. I'm afraid that it'll feel too much like I'm just doing things to get points. That's my worry going in.
Yeah, that's really all the game is you're going to fly around, you're going to do a couple things to get some points. I think it's going to be an efficiency match of just how well you can plan out your engine to move around and do the things that you're trying to do. And I feel like after our first game of this, I'm going to be like, oh, that's how you play the game.
Right.
And it won't be until that second play or third play that I'm going to be really... fine-tying my plan to finesse through the game.
Yeah, I mean, trying to get points is fine if there's enough different layers to it before you actually finally get to the point.
Right.
So hopefully, like you said, I'm trying to be efficient, and then at the end of the game, I'll be like, oh, I could have done all this so much more efficiently. If that's what I come out of the game feeling, I think that'll be the best possible outcome for me.
Cool.
So anything else you wanted to say?
I don't think so.
All right, so let's get the game played, and we'll come back and see what we think of Solarius Mission.
Let's do it.
Welcome back, everyone. We just finished our first play of Solarius Mission. Now, a little bit of background into our first play. We played two-player, and our first game took an hour and 11 minutes.
Right. And there was a little bit of rule looking, a little bit of you have abilities, lots of iconography, and you're just like, oh, how does this combo work? What does this do?
Yeah, the one thing that the game does have is a glossary, so you don't have to look through the rule book to find all those.
Right.
It's like this card, you read exactly what it does.
Yeah.
Which
and that was
pretty
beautiful.
Yeah. So, what were your first impressions, sir?
I liked the game a lot more than I was really expecting to.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. My expectation was a bit hesitant going in, but I actually quite enjoyed this experience of playing the game.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why is because I was a little bit scared that I was going to feel like I was just trying to get victory points.
Right.
But I didn't feel that at all during the game. I set like little goals for myself.
Yeah.
And you're trying to combo these different bonuses together. So I felt like I was trying to build my own bonuses rather than get victory points.
Right.
Now, I didn't get that many victory points in the game. So maybe that's why I didn't feel like I was getting any.
It's true. Yeah, it was really interesting because you'd fly over and you would investigate this planet, colonize it, drop off some people, but then you don't get points for it unless you complete the task on that planet. So you don't really have a goal at this point. You fly over, okay, here's this planet, and I need to do this. And then you're like, okay, I'll start working towards that. And you fly to a new destination. Yeah. I need to do this now. And now you're just like, okay, I need to do this and try to weave them together. Yeah. And then you get another one, and you're just like, now I need to do this, and I need to collect these resources. And it's slowly building to the point where you're like nearing the end of the game. You're like, I don't have enough actions to do all this stuff that I need to do. And it was very tight game. And it also, in the sense of like you felt like you couldn't get everything done.
Yeah, and it also had like a little bit of an engine building in the way that, well, literally you were building some engines so you could fly further. Right. So a literal engine building, but as well as you want to, when you take those dice that have the star on it, well, those are going to be as many actions as what your technology die is showing. So if your die face is only showing a 1, well, those actions aren't going to be as good. So you want to level up your dice, so then the dice that you take for your actions are worth more, so then you can do more, and then you also want to get more warehouse space so you complete bigger missions. So there's all these things feeding into each other and a bunch of different ways to go about doing everything. Like, there's multiple ways that you can play progress cards, or there's multiple ways that you can get resources. There's so many ways to do different things, and you're trying to interlock them together in a efficient way to get the most done that you possibly can.
Right. Quick background on how that action selection works, just because it's not self-explanatory. You have a tableau, and you have dice which show 1 or 2 pips, and it goes up to all the way to 4. Then you roll some dice, and you're pulling them off this rondelle system, and whatever color it is, you match that color to the ability you're doing. Some of those dice just have pips, and you get however many actions are equal to the pips. But if they have a star, it's what you have your dice set to on your tableau. So if you have a die set to 4 and you pull a 1-star icon, you're going to get 4 actions. If it's a 1-star and a 1 pip, then you're getting whatever the star value is plus that 1 pip, so you get 5 if you had it set to a 4.
Right.
So you're trying to rotate these around to get a set number of actions.
It makes the action selection more interesting in the fact that it's not just, well, the dice aren't valued equally for the number for each player.
Exactly.
I might value one color more than you. It's not just, there's a bunch of 6s out there, I want to take the 6 in this color. You know, so it makes it a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, I found that very intriguing. Also, as time passes and dice aren't getting taken off that rondelle, they get more and more valuable. So as time passes, it'll go up to, you get 1 free gold or 1 free fuel, and then 2, and then 3. So once it gets up to 3, you're just like, oh man, that's juicy.
Yeah,
I'll take that die.
Yeah, I think overall, it exceeded my expectations. I'm actually looking forward to playing it again and trying to be even more efficient. I think, like you said at the beginning, knowing kind of where the game ends up will help in subsequent plays, so you can build it a little bit more efficiently. So I 100% agree with your prediction there.
Yeah, I do as well. At the end of this game, I was like, okay, yeah, now let's take a look at how everything's complete here, and what would I change if I restarted another game right now? What would I do differently? So yeah, definitely got that feeling. One other thing that I forgot to mention in the before segment was I felt like the aesthetic feel of the game, it looked like a high quality prototype to me.
Right.
It's not very grandiose and beautiful. It's just kind of blah looking, and it didn't really matter when I was playing the game. I wasn't concerned with that at all. There were so many tough choices that I was just like focusing on the actions I was doing.
The only thing are those 1.5 millimeter discs, which was a mistake in the printing, I believe. They're supposed to be 15 millimeter discs,
right?
But they end up being 1.5.
Yeah.
So they're really small, but even still, that didn't hinder the gameplay, them being that tiny. No. I didn't really notice it. They were just funny to look at.
Yeah, you almost don't even need them for the game. Like, what purpose do they hold other than like a little placeholder? Yeah, saying that you've taken the planet.
You can just use any other circular object. All right, well, that's our first impressions of Solarius Mission. Don't forget to go down and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We always love it when you do that.
Doing us a big favor. In the description down below, you can also go to our website, mapleleaf.com, and there you can download our podcasts where we talk about games endlessly.
All right. See you guys next time.
Take care.